Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to knit a simple hat. The hat is made for actually everyone. It can be for a man, for a woman, for a child as well. All you will need to do is just to knit on the size wrong and the size right, the same pattern. The size of the hat depends of your head circumference, so through the knitting you will just measure the piece, and then at the end we will sew the piece all together. To knit this hat I used Kartop Elite Wool Grande. I used also 8 mm knitting needles. You will need about 2 skeins of this yarn. Also, you will need needle just to sew the piece together. So this is how it looks, and soon I'm going to show you what you need to do. To make this hat you need to cast on 32 stitches. I do it like that, just put the yarn on my hand, and then I start picking up the yarn from the thumb, then from the finger and through the loop inside. Then I put the thumb back again and again in the middle, taking the yarn from the finger, and I'm going to do it like 32 times, so it's going to be 32 stitches. When I've got it already, all I need to do is just knit every single stitch. As you can see, I knit also the first one, the edge one, because for me it's better to sew the pieces together. I show you at the end how I do it. So if you do it different way, you can do it obviously as you wish, but I show you how I do it. It's simple, there is nothing difficult with this hat. It's just knit on the front side, on the right side, and on the wrong side is knit as well. So now you will need just to knit as long piece as is your head circumference. I show you how to measure it. As you can see, I knit again the edge stitch. The first one I just do the purl, and then again all the stitches are knit. So as you can see, all the hat is made from the knits from the wrong and on the wrong and on the right side. You need to knit it through the to the actually the size you need, all the way the same. Just knit on the wrong and on the right side. The hat is the universal size because it's for everyone. For kids you will just need to reduce a little bit of stitches. I would say like 5-10 stitches will be enough to reduce, so you will just cast on 10 or 5 less stitches on. It obviously depends on the size of the head of your child, but for the adults I would recommend using obviously the yarn I use. I would recommend to pick up cast on like 32 stitches, how I did it. the piece will look like this on the both sides. And as you can see, the hat looks like that. This is just the knit on both sides. Then you can see the sewing and at the top as well. There is no hole inside, so you can see it. You can wear it with like that, or just wear it simply. I call it a Smurfet's hat. When you have the piece as long as needed, I will measure it for you. When it's laying flat, it has like 41 centimeters, and I show you my mannequin's head is circumference is 53 centimeters. My one is 54, so just 1 centimeter bigger. So look how it should be. The piece of the thing we made is very stretchy, so it has to be like that. Don't make the piece exactly the same size as your head, because it will just jump on your nose. It will fall, as you can see, stretchy enough for the head like this. Don't make it as big as your head circumference, because it will fall. So the piece I made, like 41 centimeters, is enough for the head of 53-54 centimeters big. So I'm going to sew all the pieces together. First of all, I need to bind off the stitches I've got on my needle. I do it simply, just made the first stitch, then because all the piece was made from the knit, I'm going to knit first and then slip the one over it, and then the one I made before, and again I do the same, knit and one over it, just slip the one on. And I do it like that. Don't make it very tight, because we need to sew it nice. We need to sew it nicely, so it won't look nice when you make it very tight. So right now I've got all the stitches closed. I cast them off, so the piece is stretchy enough, it's not too tight, so I'm going to sew the pieces all together. This is the right side, this is the left one. I'm going to sew the left on front of my face, so the right one is inside. And I'm going to use my needle. Pick the first stitch you've got on your work, just like that. And then, can you see the stitch in here? This is kind of the chain we made by closing the stitches. And don't look at those. You've got like the small, you see, 2 yarns here, just under the chain we just made. We are going to pick them up, not the big ones you can see between, just the small ones just under the chain. As you can see, the small ones are just straight under. And then the same we are going to do on the other side. As you can see, this is easier because you just put the needle between the stitches. This is easier side. This is when we started the work. And here just remember to find not the big ones, but the small stitches just under the chain we just made. Thanks to it, the sewing will look much better than it will look just similar to the piece of work we just made. As you can see, I'm going through the small pieces just under the chain on one side and on the other side as well. Again, I'm looking for that small two yarn, nearly the same as we did before. There will be no big difference between the stitches we made using the knits, but obviously there will be some kind of difference between the stitches, but it's not that bad. When the piece is sewn already, you can see it a little bit, but anyway it looks, I think it looks good. So now go back on your wrong side, and what we need to do, we need to sew the piece on the top of our head to make it look like a hat. As you can see, it has to look like that. I'm going just through it like that, like waving the yarn over through the stitches. As you can see, it's nothing difficult to do. You can obviously use your own technique. I just use it like that. I'm going to the end, going to connect it together. Then we need to pull the yarn and close the hole inside in the middle of the hat. As you can see, we need to close it. There is no such a, I don't know, special pattern to sew this piece together. I'm just going through one side to another side, and that's all. Just to make sure there is nothing visible on the right side of the hat. I pull through it on one side, and on the other side pull the yarn on with the needle. In and out. That's it. So look how this came out on the real right side. All you need is to hide the yarn inside the piece of the thread, and the hat look just looks like that. I'm going to show you how it looks on my mannequin's head. As you can see, it looks really good. So this is actually the hat you don't need to buy from the shop. You can make it by yourself because it's very easy to do it. There is nothing actually difficult. You just need to know how to knit on the right and the wrong side of your work. If you liked my video, please leave the comment or some thumbs up.